Hi, I'm Gemma Peters, I'm Chief Executive of Bloodwise, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an update about where we are in terms of looking at our brand and communications. We've been out and asked lots of you for help and feedback, and we've been completely overwhelmed by how many of you have taken the time to give us that feedback. We have more than 2,000 of you replying to the survey that we sent out. Many of you have been to workshops up and down the country. Some of you have done in-depth phone interviews. We're hugely grateful for that because it's really, really important for us as an organisation to understand how it is we can reach more people who are affected by blood cancer. We know there are 1 million people in the UK who are directly affected, and at the moment we're only connecting and helping and supporting a small percentage of that group, and it's really important that we can reach more people, and the way we want to understand how to do that is hearing from all of you. So as well as all the feedback we've had from all of you, our supporters and our staff, we've also gone out to people that perhaps should know us and don't, so the general public who have an interest in health, or people who are affected by blood cancer but haven't been in contact with us yet, and that information as well has fed into some of the findings that I'm going to share. So one of the key take-homes for us is that most people don't think that our logo and brand is strong enough, and in fact quite a few of you think that it really is weak. And that's backed up by some of the external research that we've done, which describes our brand as being cold and clinical, which, when you do the job I do, and for those of you that know us really well, feels really incongruous with the organisation that we are. And so we've definitely, whatever happens, got to fix that. One of the other things that came through really strongly is that you want to see more of us. So whether that's in haemato-oncology clinics, whether it's at the bus stop, whether it's in shopping centres, lots of you mentioned TV, you just want us to be more visible, and I really want that too. We've got a bit of a balance around how much those things cost, and what the benefit is of them. You can imagine that television advertising, for instance, is hugely expensive, but we are absolutely committed to doing more so that this organisation is more visible to the 1 million people who are affected by blood cancer, because if we're not, then people won't know where to go for support. And finally, something that comes through really strongly is that Bloodwise, the name, presents us with some serious problems. So internally, with our supporters and our staff, it arouses a lot of strong feelings from people who feel that they don't like it and it doesn't represent who we are as an organisation. But perhaps even more worryingly, externally, people who don't know us but have an interest in blood cancer think the organisation Bloodwise does something else. So typically what we see is that they are associating it with being a blood donation charity or a blood transfusion service, and not a blood cancer charity who provides support and funds research, and that is a real issue for us. So it's really clear that the name is an issue. The last name change to Bloodwise happened 4 years ago now. I've been in the organisation since 2017, and from day one it has been the thing that people have wanted to talk about. My instinct was, don't get distracted by the name, we've got loads of other stuff that we need to do. The important thing is our communications are really strong, that we reach as many of those people who are affected by blood cancer in the UK as possible, that we fund really brilliant research, that we provide excellent services. We shouldn't get distracted from that by something like a name change. What comes out in this research though is that it is a really big barrier for us, and it's a hurdle that we have to get over, and every time somebody who is looking for a blood cancer charity stumbles across Bloodwise, they don't think that that's the organisation for them, and that makes our job and the job of all of you who are trying to support us and fundraise for us much harder. So I was really keen to explore in the workshops that we did around the country exactly what people felt about name change. And in those workshops we had a whole range of people, but there were people often that supported the organisation for a long time. So some people who'd arrived since the last name change, some people that have been through the name change, some people that have been through more than one name change with the organisation because they've been involved for so long. And I was really surprised that in every single workshop the conclusion was that we should change the name, that the current name was not working and that we needed to change it. But there were some caveats to that, and there were 3 really clearly that came through. One was whatever the name is, it has to be really simple and descriptive, so not too clever, not too corporate, just says what we do as an organisation. Secondly, that we have to be about all people with blood cancer, not just one or two types of blood cancer. And thirdly, and I really agree with this too, that we can't spend loads of money on it, because you are not all out there running marathons, shaking tins, packing things at Sainsbury's, all the things that you're doing every single week to raise money for us. You're not doing that so that we can spend it on a rebrand. And I hear that, and we'll definitely take that on board as we decide what to do next. So we did a piece of survey work and told people that we were a blood cancer charity and wanted to know which of these organisations would they be more likely to support. We tested, as you can see on the slide, our old name, Bloodwise, and we chose the most sort of descriptive name that we could think of for what we do, Blood Cancer UK. And as you can see, the results are pretty stark. So 37% of people said they would support this charity that doesn't exist, Blood Cancer UK. Only 6% of people said they thought they'd support Bloodwise, and somewhere in the middle fell our old name. So whatever happens, you are going to see really improved communication from us. It's obvious we really have to strengthen that. We've also got a decision to make though. Do we do that behind the existing name, Bloodwise, or do we at the same time change our name to a more descriptive name? It's a big decision. I'm going to talk to the Board of Trustees about it next week. The board are volunteers who help guide the organisation and advise me on what the right things to do are. You might feel, having watched this, or perhaps you hadn't filled in or responded to us before, that you've got something else to say that you want us to know. If you have got that, then please just email hello@bloodwise.org.uk and I'll make sure that your views are included in the discussion that we have with the board. Thank you to all of you that have done it so far. I do really appreciate it. You know, this is a really important moment for the organisation. Death rates for people with blood cancer are falling. The research that you've all supported over the last 6 years really is making a difference. And the end, you know, finally the goal of beating blood cancer is within sight. You know, it's within a few decades rather than unimaginable. And so we've really got a job to do, all of us, to rally behind the organisation and whatever the decision is on name, to really make the most difference for people with blood cancer now, and you know, the 40,000 people who don't know that this organisation really matters to them, but they'll be diagnosed with blood cancer in the next year, and this organisation needs to be there for them and in the best possible shape to support and help them. So I know, because I've spoken to so many of you already, that you feel that as passionately as I do, and I know that together we're going to be able to make a real success story for people in the future. So thank you for staying with us for this long, till the end of this film, and I look forward to updating you very soon.